This right here is mobile phone royalty. I managed to pick up a Nokia 3310 on eBay. I was the only bidder for it for £5. Postage was £3.35, so in total I paid £8.34. The listing states, Nokia 3310 with Vodafone, mobile phone not working with accessories. Comes with a box, earphones and charger. Selling as parts as I cannot get it charged and will not turn on. Unfortunately, I didn't just buy it for the love of the phone, I bought it because it's faulty. And in today's video, I want to try and fix it. I'm really hoping it's not as simple as a new battery. That would actually really upset me. Should we open the box and have a look at the condition of the phone? So here I have the actual 3310. And would you just look at it? That is nostalgia slapping me in the pork chop. All the amounts of grub and dirt, as you can imagine. And we even have a sticker of, is that Tweety? Could be wrong. But before we had Twitter, we had Tweety. Going to be very embarrassing now if I get that name wrong. We also have some little butterflies that are on the case. Next in line is the actual official OEM, I'm pretty sure, Nokia charger. It says here, Nokia. Yeah, the original charger for this. Maybe this has gone bust, so we're going to check that out. And some good old year of 2000s, because that's when the phone originally was released. These were the most painful, I say these, it was one earphone, and it was the most painful experience known to man. I don't know if that's because of my big ears, but they weren't comfortable. Comes with a nifty little clip. I also have the original SIM card, and look at the bulk of this thing. It comes with the original paperwork as well, which is incredible. Got these little foam pads, which I don't know what it's for, but nice. I've actually found some extra bubble wrap. Oh, okay, so we have, is this what looks to be like the original casing that it came in? Wow, I think it was. Ooh, just eat that. Yeah, so this looks to be the actual original casing for the phone. I think they were just wanting to change it up. And I vaguely remember having the more plasticky, the solid plasticky feel buttons, and then the soft sort of silicone as well. They gave you the two options. I think this was included actually in most of the boxes. My biggest love for this phone would have of course been none other than Snake. Might even been Snake 2 on this. So if I can get this working, you're about to see the best ever Snake player you've ever seen in your life. Don't know whether that's a compliment or not. Let's start with bare basics. Do we get any power to the device? I'm holding it down. I get nothing at all. So I just want to confirm the fault. And it seems like we get nothing. I know nothing about phones. The only phone I've worked on is an iPhone 5, and I've followed guides completely, so I'm clueless when it comes to mobiles. So I think we're able to just slide the back off by pushing down on this black bit here, yes. So we have a 3.6 volt battery with quite a lot of dirt on it, as you can see here. Is it looking swole? Not necessarily. It's actually looking pretty slim. Let's take the battery out. I'm guessing it's these two pull tabs like that, and then yeah, it just literally slides out. We have the plus this side, the negative this side. Let's get the multimeter and see if this has any charge. My guess is no. Here we have the multimeter itself in voltage mode. Black goes on to negative, red goes on to positive, and we show a reading of 611 millivolts. That's nowhere near enough to turn the phone on. The battery, like I said, is 3.6 volts. So we're looking at around that to even turn the phone on, maybe less. What we can do next is I've hooked this up to my power supply, and I've set my power supply to 3.6 volts, and I've set it to 1 amp draw. So let's see what happens when I try and charge it manually. I get 0.004 amps draw, and then it drops down to 0, and that's 3.6 volts. I get no wattage, nothing. That tells me that it's a bad battery. The charger itself, you can't really see, but it does say output is 3.7 volts, 355 milliamps. So let's see if this is outputting what it needs to. Got my meter on voltage mode again. Inside goes positive, negative goes on the outside. And what do we get? We get 10 volts. That's a full 10 volts. Now, like I said, the output is only 3.7 volts. I'm not very good when it comes to voltages, etc. I guess what it does is it throttles the voltage from the 10 volts to the 3.7 when it's charging the battery. Again, if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comment section. So my next, I don't want to say logically because I'm not logical in the slightest, but I'm going to put a crocodile clip on the negative ground point here, which is where the battery would go. And then I'm going to give this 3.6 volts and see what amperage it draws. Don't know if amperage is a word, but we're rocking with it. So if I put that on the positive, here we go. I'm going to turn it on, and I should be able to put this on your screen, okay? So I'm going to, sorry, my finger slipped. I'm going to touch it once. Now, okay, 0.04 amps, and then nothing happened. So what happens if I hold it down? 0.04? 0.010? Do we get anything on the screen? Come on, 0.036 watts as well at the bottom, but we get nothing on the screen. That's with 3.6 volts. Let's increase the voltage a little bit. I'm not going to overdo it, but I'm going to put it up to 3.8 volts, trying to turn it on now. We get exactly the same. Exactly the same. Now I have noticed that I don't have the SIM card in, so what about if I grab the SIM card that came with it, if I put that in and now try, does that make a difference? I don't see why it would. 0.039, no, and then we go again, 0.010. And I've held it down for quite a long time now as well. I don't know if it's something wrong with the screen. Maybe it's on and it only draws 0.010 amps of current. I have no idea. The next question is, can we go deeper with this? I'm gonna assume we can. I swear I used to, so you literally just pull it off. I did change the case of one of these when I was younger, but I haven't done it in such a long time. What I will say is that the screen on this looks absolutely fine. It's gorgeous, actually. It would have had the plastic here protecting it. That's why it's in such good condition. There's no burning or anything like that, screen burn. It looks like we've got some torque screws on the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna take those out. I can confirm that it's size T6. I wonder how long torque screw bits have been alive for. Does this bit just pop off now? I have no idea if this is like some adhesive or what. Oh, there's like, these are like little latches on this side. So I've just pulled that out and then lifted up on the board and it's just slotted out. So it must be little latches. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Wow, man. Oh, wow, look at this. Where the flip am I gonna start on that? Does this just separate now? Oh my gosh, that's a thing of beauty. So easy to take apart, really. Now I'm just trying to really slowly pull up on these tabs. Originally I thought they were soldered, but they're not. So you can just pull up and they unclip just slowly. Ooh, and it just falls off like that though. I've managed to take all 3 of the clips off and this is the final result. I'm going to take it under the microscope, but I'm very intrigued as to what's going on here. There seems to be like a load of black goo around these caps and components. If this could lead me a step closer to what the issue is, I'm going to be so happy. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this. So let's go over to the scope and see what's going on. We're now on the microscope and I'm just having a quick look at all the components, but honestly, everything is so neat and tidy and clean and it just looks beautiful. I can't see a single bad solder joint. This capacitor looks absolutely fried. Wow, look at that. It's the same for all of these down here as well. Look, it's all just peeling off. And I'm not even touching that too hard. Let me just grab a cotton bud and see if that comes off. No, it doesn't come off on here. But I'll put a drop of IPA on. Yeah, that seems to make it come off a little bit easier. I think it's just due to age. I would also like to know what this thing is, where it just kind of pries up. I have no idea. I am, however, drawn to this mess over here. I can't quite work out if it's meant to be here because it's absolutely solid, or it's come from a capacitor underneath and just spread, or better yet, it might have even come from this chip because I can see little bits of it on the outsides of this chip. So again, I don't actually know if it's meant to be here or not. We also have a big, I think this is a capacitor. It looks like the replacement NEC token caps that you get for the PlayStation 3s. Probably looks about the exact same size, to be honest, as well. The switch itself at the top of the phone for the on and off seems absolutely fine, no issues there. And we're getting an amp draw, so we know that it's trying to turn the phone on. This is the positive terminal, which then clearly transfers the power through to this cap, which I'm assuming goes to around this area here, which is covered by this shroud. Just a little update. I took the metal shielding almost not off, but just I moved it to the side to check this big capacitor here because I thought I had some issues, but that checked out absolutely fine. This cap here, no issues whatsoever, but I have spotted something and it's a little bit down the board. I marked it with a pen just to remind me which one it was. This cap doesn't look too healthy in my opinion. I just zoomed right in to get a little bit closer and it doesn't look all right. If I take my multimeter and put it into continuity mode, I don't get ground on either side at all. So it's not a shorted cap. However, when I put it into diode mode, it looks fine. I get 0.7 voltage drop here, and then on this side I get 0.5 voltage drop. And clearly both sides of this cap are going to this chip. So I think those readings are correct. I also want to note that in continuity mode, if I put a probe here and go over to here, we definitely have, even over to this side of the board, we have a continuous path. So that tells me that the power is going from this pad through the cap to the areas of the board that it needs to go. My only thing that I could try is removing this cap, but I just don't think that's going to resolve it. It's not pulling enough amps to signify a short somewhere on the board, if that makes sense. I'm going to pull the cap because I have nothing to lose, and I might even try and reflow this chip. Whatever's underneath this chip also goes to this cap. Had a tiny bit of flux just there and there, just to help with the reflow of the chip, and obviously some flux around this cap. I'm going to go with 350 degrees Celsius with an airflow speed of 60% because I don't know how thin this board is. There goes the cap. I've actually got a cap over here that I've knocked. Needs to go back in. Put some flux on that, and reflow back into place. There we go. Let's give it all a clean with some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. I'm actually going to give the whole board a real quick clean to see if that improves anything. Probably won't, but you never know. I've just tested it with the power supply again, and it's changed ever so slightly, but I don't think it's enough that this capacitor has made a difference. So I'm going to put the cap back on the board. Causing mess everywhere else, of course. That's back on nice and solid now, as is this little diode and this cap here. I've also tried to do some research on some board diagrams, but I can't find anything that will tell me voltages or anything even close to that. So unfortunately, my knowledge is fairly limited with what I'm working with. I've got the power supply hooked back up after a decent clean and putting that cap back on, should I say. Do we get anything? Here we go. I'm holding it down. Anything on the screen? Nothing. And we still seem to be drawing the same amount of amps, which is 0.010. I put it under a thermal cam as well and couldn't see any obvious spots with 0.010 amps. I doubt we were going to find anything anyway. But yeah, nothing seems to be happening when I'm turning it on, which is a little bit of a shame. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you in this episode the king of snake. However, regardless, I actually really enjoyed having a poke around with this. It needs a really, really good clean as well, but I kind of want to save that until we actually establish what's wrong with it. If anyone in the comments happens to be like an old 3310 Nokia phone technician, then please leave a comment down below with your thoughts as to why this might not be turning on. I will order another battery just in case we do get it working, because I do think the other one isn't taking a charge at all. And finally, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this style of video. The Nokia 3310 is currently out of my range massively, as you can tell from this video, but I'm really, really keen to keep learning all different electronic devices. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.